Yo, what's good, chat? How y'all feeling today? I'm feeling blessed. Back with more of me playing Fortnite and going to most likely be playing Fortnite with subs. Before I consider playing Fortnite with subs, chat, I was going to consider watching Infinite Comparison, and it's been a while since I most likely have, so I'm going to definitely consider watching it. I'm pretty sure the other one was, like, how to save yourself or something. It's going to take quite a while for me to process that shit, but, you know. Anyway, chat, without further ado, let's go straight to the shit. Let me, pull the video up, you know. It's 150 phobias I gotta consider watching. Infinite Comparison. Phobias. Alright. 150 phobias you have. Okay, I'm sure that's the video. Yeah, he's requesting to join. Don't you worry, Cutter. I'll be sure to play with you whenever I get a chance. Let me just, watch this real quick.
Train your dragon menu is now at BK. Get it before it disappears.
Alrighty. So the first one is public speaking. 1 and 2 have this. Hold on, let me see if this is the correct one. Let me go to Luke Davidson. Luke Davidson, Infinite Comparison, Phobias. Hold on, let me put 150 phobias. Or you know what? I'm gonna put Luke Davidson. 150 phobias.
Today we're gonna be looking at the top 150 phobias in the world, and you know, like I did it, but
Oh, okay. It definitely is public speaking. Okay. So public speaking. And I'll find the video on my stream. I'm sure if I watch one of them, I would be like, okay, that's the one that I watched, you know. But anyway, public speaking. Okay, I don't not necessarily mind public speaking, but at the same time, I get quite anxious depending on who am I speaking to. Like, if I were a president, I wouldn't possibly get anxious. I would possibly speak for my rights and what's great for this country, so God Almighty Jesus Christ. But if it's like in front of people who are gonna be very judgmental, I would get very anxious and sweat. And it says 1 and 2, so it's very rare. It seems like. Okay. Death. So it says, more specifically, they fear messing up and embarrassing themselves. I don't actually make mistakes in terms of public speaking and embarrassing myself. Well, I can sometimes feel this type of embarrassment, which is in terms of how anxious I get. Death. People fear the thought of being non-existence or eternal loneliness. Why would people have that fear? I don't actually fear death, because I actually have no fear. I don't feel anxious about it either. Well, considering the... Well, actually, I do get anxious of wanting to rest... Like, where someone kills me and I have him grant biological immortality through medical advancement in terms of my mortal body being biologically immortal, where God wants me to live for him for thousands of years until God Almighty Jesus Christ returns, which is the God Almighty I was referring to. Like, God Almighty Jesus Christ wants me to live for him for thousands of years until he returns. So I don't get anxious by that. Let's put it in terms of being anxious. Like, I don't get anxious when I public speak, and I'm not anxious of death. Unless someone has a Glock or a gun, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna be so anxious about it. So no, death is not, it doesn't faze me. Strangers. Or, in terms, people's sinful desires, whether they're murderers, thieves, kidnappers, all that shit. Like you anxious. Hold on, let me zoom in my screen. Xenophobia may also be linked to damn, people judge people for other races? That's what I was reading. Yeah, I don't why would someone get anxious about people? Rats. Well, I love every animals, and rats, they don't necessarily give me a phobia in terms of being anxious and overwhelmed about it. Their association with disease has long tarnished the rat's repop reputation to many. Nah, man, I love rats. I could even get a pet rat if I wanted to, most likely. But no, needles. And it says 1 in 10 have this phobia, and 1 in 6 have phobia of fearing strangers, and 1 in 5 have fear of death. Needles? 1 in 11 fears needles. Wow. To be fair, your skin being pierced by sharp objects naturally pretty scary. Not really. I don't necessarily mind a needle poking my arm. Like my like which part of my arm? Near my biceps. I don't actually mind that. Like it's just to ensure that it can inject antibiotics within your body. If a bee stung me, yeah, I could be anxious by bees, but overall, I don't necessarily like it when they're on my face or if they sting my eye. Man, imagine getting stung in your eye. That is actually like you get anxious by like, oh my gosh, I don't want it to hurt me. But I love bees overall. They make honey. Respect that, you know. Especially needles. They give you antibiotics. Like I could even ask Siri, why do we get vaccination? Hey Siri, why exactly do people get vaccinated? Okay, I'm about to read this. Cause if you don't get this, then that's fucked. I noticed people in Asia get that shit and they cry. Like when you're a kid, okay, I did have phobia about getting needles within my body when I was a kid, because when you're a kid, you get it in your ass. Yeah, I know, quite hilarious. When I was a little kid, I used to have anxiety towards it, and I actually cried. Yeah, that seems like I have PTSD, but I don't necessarily. People get vaccinated to prevent diseases that can be very serious. Vaccines help the body create protective antibiotics, antibodies that help it fight off infection. They also help stop the spread of disease to other people. Exactly. You don't want to be a selfish bastard and arrogant. You gotta not ignore that, chat. Hey Siri, why exactly do people get... My fucking goodness. Hey Siri! Why exactly do people get flu shots? People get the flu shot to protect themselves from becoming ill with the flu. The flu vaccine causes the body to develop antibodies to severe strains of the influenza virus, which helps to protect against infection. I never got an influenza. I'm pretty sure once you get it, you don't get it as often. But it's all overall, you would have to get an appointment for that. I can even ask my parents as well. But overall, I would have to make the decision. Because I'm very mentally mature. Despite my age, Chad. But overall, you know. So yeah, I don't have phobia towards needle, but when I was a kid, I used to. Like, in terms of anxiety, and I get overwhelmed by it. 1 in 12 fears the dentist. I don't like it when they pierce my gums, so I definitely get anxious by that, but overall, like, it even mentions getting your mouth drilled into isn't the most pleasant thought. Why would I get my teeth drilled? I never get cavities, and I want to thank God on my Jesus Christ that I don't necessarily get them. The dark. 1 in 13 have this phobia. The dark. The fear of the dark likely originates from our ancestors' outdoor living. Well, yeah, obviously, because there could be spiders, there could be centipedes, there could be anything lurking within the dark, or demons back then in the ancient era. So our ancestors developed this phobia. But why am I not necessarily scared of the dark? I actually walked in the dark and my homie was like, what if we get attacked by a coyote? You remember that situation where I was explaining about how I almost got lost and missing, even though I didn't necessarily? Actually, I never almost got lost and missing. So, forget, not forget. I'll take that word back is what I mean. Meaning I didn't almost got lost and missing, you know. But overall, chat, I don't have fear towards that. Which I mentioned that I don't necessarily have any fear, especially on in my last stream. Overall, I wouldn't get anxious, but if I do get anxiety, it's simply because of my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very, very, very temporarily. This is what the phobias I'm mentioning about, like needles, um, so public speaking, death, people, or what people refer to as strangers, which nobody's unknown. We're all created by God Almighty Jesus Christ. So I have phobia in public speaking, death, people, and needles. Meaning when I get anxious sometime, in terms of my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare, very temporarily, you know. The dark, not really, but I would have to witness it, because I actually walk in the dark, so I'm sure I don't have a fear of that. 1 in 14 fear heights. Often incorrectly referred to as vertigo. Arachnophobia. Acrophobia. That just means you're in the air. I don't fear height, and I don't get anxious by it, so. Well, actually, no, when I was a kid I did, but that is in terms of my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very, very, very temporary. Because I used to play in Chuck E. Cheese, in the play area, and I used to have this phobia, like this anxiety, where the thing would break apart, like those. You know that thing where it shakes or wiggles or whatever? I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. Where it has tiny, like, pores or holes on it or whatever. You know what I'm referring to. And I used to like crawl on it. That is what I had phobia of. Or that the thing would break apart. That's what I have. But now I don't necessarily. But I don't go on there anymore because I'm too tall. Confined spaces. People fear confined places because it restricts their movement. Claustrophobia. That is a phobia. I don't necessarily have that fear. Or should I say anxiety. I don't get anxious towards it. Flights. I was actually on a plane before. Never had that anxiety. The fear can combine with aerophobia. Okay. Well, I used to have this phobia where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna puke. The plane's going up because of motion sickness, but that didn't necessarily occur. So I don't have to necessarily worry about it, you know. Yo, what's good? Carter, how you feeling, brother? I'll be sure to play with you quite a bit. Don't you worry. I know the title mentions to play with subs only. Don't you worry. I'm actually watching infinite comparison of this video, and then I have to see what other video I watched because I want to actually rewatch it again. You know. Or I can see what Luke Davidson was watching in terms of that, and I can be like, oh, that was the video I watched. You know. Being forgotten. People care who care for dementia patients are more likely to suffer from this fear or anxiety. I don't actually necessarily have that anxiety because I would never get dementia. But I do get anxiety in terms of like, oh, I'm gonna get it someday. But come on, man. You can even ask Google how to not necessarily get dementia, or the Snap AI if you use it. Social situations. Genuinely, they fear being embarrassed or judged by others. I do get anxious by people judging me, or just I either get embarrassed, like anxious, or just not wanting to get judged by others. So such social situations could possibly be a thing. That is, I'm not gonna really count down my phobias because I would have to edit my video to add all that up. In terms of my anxiety, that's the phobia I would consider as not fear, you know. Spiders. No, because I actually see spiders every day in my life, and I don't necessarily get anxious by it, so no. And it's gonna mention about our ancestors. Fear of spiders seems to be a cultural thing. Some groups aren't scared of them at all. Oh. Quite interesting. Shit, you gonna ruin that bitch career? I see you, bro. Oh, hold up. Don't necessarily want that to occur. But spiders, yeah, I don't necessarily get anxious by them. Especially centipedes. I mean, I can get startled, which is another way of saying you're anxious. Like, oh my gosh, it's moving, you know. And it's like coming near me, but I don't get anxious much by it. I used to when I was younger, but my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare, very temporarily, it is constantly like decreasing, you know. Anyway, chat. Fire. People fear to be terribly burned in a fire or accidentally starting one. Never started a fire, and I wouldn't care if I get burned by one, because you could just stop, drop, and roll. But I don't get anxious by it. Surgery. I'm more eager to get surgeries than not wanting one. Like, why would I get anxious by it?
Shit, you gonna ruin that bitch career? I see you, bro.
Hold up.
Jesus people, Amash, and so where the people have were no phones, no internet, and all of that, no lights or anything. The old with like the old days, they still do that. I was thinking we should do that. Not gonna lie. It's I find out it's really nice here. It's peace and everything. Like you can live for free and everything.
I mean, God gave us the opportunity to have iPhones and all that shit. I know what you're referring to, where people can like figure out certain ways to manage that stress from having technologies, but overall, like God is the reason why we have technology in this world, even though it's all temporarily and all that shit, you know. But like, shit, if you want to do it, but shit, nah, I'll get anxiety overall. Nah, I can't live without technology. I mean, there's certain reasons why we live with it, you know. But yeah, I know what you mean. My bad. My homie was mentioning something about being Amish. Nah, I can't do that.
It's I find out
That's another phobia.
nice here. It's peace.
Having hold up, having a phobia of not having a technology. No, that's.
Just like Jesus, there's a rule.
I mean, shit. God wants to keep peace with others. You know.
There's a rules and everything that what like regular people do. Like we couldn't be smoking, can't do all that, can't do anything like that. Just work, work, work. Just have a peaceful life.
Hold on, I'm coming. I'm gonna go AFK afterwards, chat. Couple more phobias. Don't you worry. So phobia. Tomophobia. The fear can lead to avoidance of necessary treatments or surgeries. Come on, man. Who does not necessarily want to have treatments or surgeries? Like me, I want to get brain surgeries in terms of my mental trauma. I want to get plenty of surgery. There's plenty of surgery to list. I'll possibly list it later today. Like, I have a rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare, very temporarily, in terms of my stress and anxiety overall, because I was very stressed and anxious yesterday and earlier today. Hold up! Like, during the midnight, you know? But that's the last phobia I'm going to read. I'll watch the rest of it later today. But, like, real shit chat, like, um, overall, I would consider getting surgery, so I do not necessarily have a phobia of that. Hold on, let me read one more phobia. Sharp objects. This includes anything from machetes to pins. That doesn't. I don't necessarily have anxiety of that. I don't get anxious by them. Like, if somebody has that, it's for protection, not to kill you. But if they have it for murder, they could go to hell, and I can kill them myself for self-defense. But anyway, chat, I'm gonna be right back. Or not be right back. I'm gonna be AFK, chat. I'm gonna go have dinner real quick. Be sure to skip to the part where I'm not necessarily AFK. Don't you worry, Carter. I got you. Consider playing. I'm not just streaming just to watch a video of infinite comparison, and then I'm gonna watch that and then play afterwards. Like, I got you. Anyway, chat. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Apparently it restarted because I was click on something and it took a while for me to process on what to click over. W200 V-Bucks. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's better to save than to spend and to buy more. Until I get a job, but even when I get a job, I'm not gonna spend right away. Come on. I'm mentally mature, man. It took quite a while for me to process when I was younger, and don't want to necessarily be greedy, you know. All right, back to the phobias. So 1 in 20. Oops. No. I don't want to fucking do the match. My control accidentally fouled. Actually, it purposely fouled. Fuck that shit. 1 in 20 have this phobia. Sharp objects. Okay. I don't necessarily have that phobia. I don't get anxious by it. Damn. People have a fear of blood? Some people faint at the mere sight of blood. Wow. 1 in 20.3 have this phobia of blood? Come on, man. We're meant to have this in our mortal body, Chad. In our mortal body. Not immortal body. In our mortal body. I don't necessarily have the phobia. I don't get anxious by blood. I mean, I don't necessarily like it, but that's more of like you're getting irritated. Blood constantly coming out of your body when you get hurt or whatever. Excuse me, chat. That's more like whenever you hurt yourself or something, or do something to yourself. Not like suicide thoughts, but you know what I mean, you know? Like when you hurt yourself. Like if you scrape your knee or something, or pierced yourself on purpose or whatever. Or accident for you guys. Snakes. Having a relative afraid of snakes will increases your own chance of finding them scary. I actually don't get anxious by it. I actually hold a snake before, and it was big as hell. So, some people have fear. I'm sure it's the ancestors. Trust me. Yeah, it was good, Carter. Welcome back to the live stream. I just got back. I just got finished having dinner earlier. You know. Excuse me, chat. I hate mucus buildup. I don't get them much, but I typically do. I'm watching the phobia video if you're asking if you want to play. Oh, you're just saying great. Yeah, then there was definitely great. I had pizza. Well, it's Jets. Y'all know I don't like Jets. I am grateful for any pizza overall, but it's Jets. I don't even like leftover food, like bacteria, like the bacteria that's within it, even if you cook it. Yes, heat can kill bacteria, but didn't you know that leftover food can pose a threat? There is pros and cons. That's only if you're in poverty simply because of greedy people, but I'm not gonna really do well in poverty, you know. People can have a phobia of that as well. The fear of sleep. 1 in 22 have this phobia, because 1 in 21 have a fear of snakes, and 1 in 20.3 have a fear of blood. So sleep. People with a recurring sleep paralysis will often face this. I don't necessarily get anxious by sleeping. I love sleeping. In terms of dreaming, you know. I love dreaming, you know. I get anxious with typo as well. That's one of my phobias. That majority of it are specifically associated with my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare, very temporarily. Like the phobias are associated with my it's more the phobia I consider them as is not fear because I don't have any fear. It's more of like anxiety or how overwhelmed I get. Taking decisions or making decisions. This may result from bad decisions in the past, which they still regret. bad decisions. Well, I'm not a sinner myself, so anything that were in the past could be associated with my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very, very rare and very temporary, which doesn't necessarily seem like a sin, because a sin is when you intentionally do it, you know. That is what a sin is, overall, you know. Overall, it will take quite a while for me to process it, you know. Overall. Dead things. Some cultures believe that spirits may return and hunt them. Like you're saying that demons, because if you're referring to those type of spirits, definitely yes, demons can. Actually, many cultures should believe this. Demons could enter a corpse, even though they leave it when someone rests in peace. But even when that demon leaves it, another one returns. But instead of bringing it back to life, it possesses it. Similar to how a bacteria or virus mutate your mind or interferes with your mind to become a zombie, you know, similar to that, but you're possessed. I don't necessarily have that phobia in terms of being anxious by it. Dogs, usually a traumatic experience in early life is to blame for a fear of dogs. Well, a dog has chased me when I was a kid, and I used to be very like traumatic by it or traumatized. But nowadays, I love dogs and I love every creature, so I don't necessarily get traumatized by them. Plus, you would only get traumatized by other creatures if it's linked to your instinct, thinking that, oh, they'll be a threat to you. But I don't have any fear towards it, so I don't have that instinct. My instinct is more of being aware to not threat them, but obviously I would never threat them. Like any creatures overall, you know. Insects. It's possible that this originates from the fear of spreading disease. Well, yeah, in Africa, but the U.S. doesn't necessarily have that, so I don't have it. I don't get anxious by it. Excuse me, chat. And 1 in 25 has a fear of dogs, and 1 in 25.7 have a fear of insects, and 1 in 24 has a fear of dead things. Yeah, if I don't mention them, that means you would know that they go by order, you know. 1 in 26 have this fear of being alone. Some people are scared to be alone for the rest of their lives. Or it can mean remaining home alone, like you're alone, you're the only person remaining in your house in shelter. And people can have a fear of that in terms of like people themselves. They're gonna be knocking on your door and you would have a fear of that. I would get anxious of that when I was a kid. Or not really. Actually, no, not really. Like for my kids, I'll let them be home alone at any age. There's no law for that. There shouldn't be. The law, though, if they're not well taught, which that is a satanic law. Why would you assume they're not well taught? That is an earthly / satanic law / commandment, which is very temporarily, which can change over time. But overall, they shouldn't have that. If they are independent and are mentally mature but can't get their own place, meaning they're not well mentally mature yet, that is what we focus on instead of age requirement, which is very satanic and arrogant. In terms of how the U.S. government are arrogant and governors of our like state government within our state, which obviously YouTube is gonna keep it private of what I specifically mentioned about the U.S. government and state governments or like the U.S. government overall, you know. Excuse me. But I don't have that anxiety or have anxiety of it. Plus, I have a little brother. I'm gonna teach him to be like me, not in an arrogant way where they can't be like my parents, but in terms of not making the mistakes. I don't make any mistakes, but for him to not make mistakes, being like my siblings on how they acted and what skills they had to learn and how long it took them, like how long it would typically take my siblings to learn these skills overall, And my little brother's name is Jonathan, chat. Yeah, he can sometimes get possessed, chat, and the way he acts, but I'm not going to mention much. But if you are aware of my background, my dad's place, of my stepmom yelling and all that, that's definitely my little brother. But that's all I'm going to mention, 1 in 28 has a fear of big things. The feeling of being so small can scare some individuals. I wonder why. Hey Siri, why exactly do people have a fear of big things? I mean, I don't get anxious by it because I am eager to be in Burj Khalifa or wanting to be in one. Plus, I want to be an astronaut, and people can have fear of being it because they have to be beyond Earth, you know? Beyond the horizon overall. Exposure to confined spaces, extreme heights, and animal or insect bites can all be sources of phobias. People with ongoing medical conditions or health concerns often have phobias. There's a high incidence of people developing phobias after traumatic brain injuries. Not really. That is just someone's opinion, just their own judgment, and it's not a factual opinion, meaning they can't make it a fact or prove it as a fact, you know, overall. And just like dogs, people have a fear in cats, and 1 in 29 have this phobia of a fear of cats. Some people often associate felines with evil and witchcraft, or sin in witchcraft. Interesting. That's why people have a fear of cats. Man, you gotta be aware of what you believe. Don't believe in myths. Believe in the truth and the fact. Something that you can prove that's real and obviously a fact overall. But there could be many reasons why people fear cats. Because people could fear cats in terms of like lions, tigers. There's different species of cats, so there could be many reasons. It could be in terms of how they get possessed, and like a tiger, if you don't feed it, they'll attack you. They'll get possessed, and they're even if you don't threaten them, they'll attack you as if they're threatening you, even though they wouldn't necessarily, because all creatures but humans have no sins. What I mean by but humans, I'm referring to like how they have sins, but other creatures don't necessarily. And 1 in 30 have a fear of ghosts. Of the people who believe in ghosts, the majority report having a personal encounter. Ghosts are demons overall. Don't think of it of someone coming out of their body. There's no such thing of it. A soul is you. That is your glorified body. That is actually you itself. That is you genuinely. And you wouldn't leave your body because you would be resting in peace and you would remain within your mortal body until thousands of years later, God Almighty Jesus Christ returns and then you resurrect. But a ghost is a demon. They're just invisible demons. They're demons itself. Like Satan, for example, can be on Earth, but you can't see it because he's invisible. He could be anywhere. He could be by me at the very moment, just watching my every moves and steps. which is obviously a sin because he would want to tempt me, but he wouldn't because I'm a righteous person, and typically virtues conquer temptation and don't necessarily encounter them as much. I mean, with my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare, very temporarily, due to my traumatic situation, it would seem like that I would interfere with this temptation and fall for it overall. But overall, majority of the time, I'm like, you know what? Nope, I am definitely not gonna interfere with it. So I definitely don't have an anxiety of ghosts or a phobia of them overall. Radiation. 1 in 31 have the fear of radiation. Individuals who have been exposed to radiation therapy will often get this phobia. Interesting. Or it could be any radiation. People can have a fear of solar radiation, thinking that the Earth will be destroyed someday, or that the ozone layers will be gone, and Earth will just heat up simply because of Satan's will of his sinful powers, his sinful desires. I don't necessarily have it. I don't get anxious by it, or any radiation. Excuse me, chat. Cliffs. 1 in 32 have a fear of cliffs. Like a cliff. Like in a canyon or mountain. That is another way of saying that you have a fear of height, but you're giving a specific fear of it. Or you get anxious by it, but I wouldn't necessarily get anxious by it. Unless I'm gonna fall off. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to fall off. You know, unless I have biological immortality, I wouldn't mind. Because I know it would definitely work overall. At a certain height, some people may have the feeling of being sucked towards it. Yeah, that's just like me. I don't want to fall off, but that's more of like you're either scared or you have anxiety. Depends on what you could have. Possibly anxiety, But by the time I'm on the cliffs, I wouldn't necessarily have this rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very rare, very temporarily, you know? And my phone is at exactly 5%, so I'm not gonna watch the whole video. We'll see, though. Sharks! Alright, I know that people would have the fear of it. I wouldn't. I would get anxious, though, because if I'm, like, at the ocean... Well, when I was at San Diego, California, and I was at Coronado Beach, I didn't necessarily have that anxiety, like, or, yeah, anxiety that, oh, like, there's gonna be sharks there. Like, not sharks there, but, like, I would encounter a shark, and what if it's possessed and it, like, attacks me and bites my leg off, if there's a chance of it constantly attacking simply because of it. Because that's the only time where they could possibly, you know. I mean, if someone reports that there's a higher chance of getting attacked by one simply because of their possession, like possessed by a demon, then yeah, I'm definitely gonna be near the water, but not at the end of the water. And I would have a phobia of being pulled towards the deep end in terms of the tide. So I have a phobia of that in terms of my anxiety. No fear, because I have no fears, you know. There's a difference, chat. Because I was actually there and I didn't have that. I didn't get anxious by it. And 1 in 33 have that. And 1 in 32. Well, actually, no. I am reading the 1 in whatever having that fear. Or just anxiety, like you're overwhelmed by it. And I mentioned 1 in 33 have a fear of sharks. However, it's incredibly unlikely for a shark to attack you unprovoked. No. I meant to mention. However, it is incredibly unlikely for a shark to attack you unprovoked, meaning you haven't threatened them. But there is a chance, unless it's very rare for them to get possessed by a demon. And if their eyes are black, that could possibly be their eyesight. But if they have a blindness, that is associated with demon possession, because why would they be blind? They would know it's you. Because if it's rare, then they would know it's you. If they're blinded, though, someone will report it. I'm sure they... That's why technology is important. Why would you want to be an Amish person? Technology actually saves you. God is the reason why we have technology, like iPhone. We need it for quick communication and this video. There's plenty of things to use it for. An iPhone could be for... It's like a mini computer where you can store plenty of data. So God mentioned it's temporarily, but it is useful. So without a phone, so if someone take a phone away from you, or if they ban it, shame on them. It's a sin. It's very arrogant of them. Like, I would definitely allow my kids to have phone right when they're born. Well, not when they're born. Right when they have that mental maturity level to have access to a phone and without parental control. Because, bro, that's arrogant. You're taking advantage of it. What do you think they're going to do? If they watch pornography, they're going to enjoy that sexual pleasure, but they're not going to have sex with someone if they feel they don't know what it is. Obviously, I wouldn't let them watch it until they know what it is, but overall, you know. And I'm giving an example. Obviously, I would be aware of that as well, you know. Because when people are addicted to porn, they're addicted to sexual pleasure and they can't get out of it. So I'm going to ensure they're aware, you know. Definitely have the talk with them before your kids watch pornography. Because what if they're like, what is that? Why are humans showing their true nature? Why they're naked? Like, they don't want to know what that is. Unless you explain it to them. That can increase their mental maturity level. Within their mortal body, you know? My day was great. What about you? W, brother. Mine was great and blessed overall. You asked that last stream, but hey, I'm willing to answer it again. But yeah, I don't really get anxious by sharks. Why was I mentioning about my kids? Oh yeah, because I was mentioning about the technology, how people can predict, like, there's going to be a shark attack, and there's a chance that they can attack you without you threatening them or interfering with their mating season. Or mating process, within the mating season. Unless they don't have a seasonal time to mate, and they just mate whenever. I'm sure typically mammals and birds do. There's a certain process for them to mate. Who knows? Getting anxious by getting struck by lightning. People have a phobia in that. 1 in 35 have a phobia of, or have a fear of lightning. Although the risk of getting struck is incredibly low, Some people still fear storms. Wow. I don't get anxious by a thunderstorm. I love watching a thunderstorm. But at the same time, chat, I don't want to get struck by it, but God wouldn't struck me. He knows I'm a righteous man. That is a form of divine punishment to punish sinners when they get struck by it. And that is why they fear it. But yeah, the person is right. Whoever created that video, whoever is in charge of infinite comparison, or the channel is called Watch Data. And someone commented, I'm not afraid of the dark, I'm afraid of what's within the dark. Well, I could get anxious by that as well, but like I mentioned, I was actually walking in the dark. And I actually get anxious when I'm in the forest, but I still have a chance to get out of it. So I get anxious, but at the same time, I manage it. So it's like a manageable anxious scenario or experience or, yeah, scenario or situation. But overall, I don't get anxious by lightnings. I love lightnings. Just watching it, it's so mesmerizing. It's godlike overall, so be grateful that there's thunderstorms. But at the same time, it's more for the punishment than admiring it. I mean, I don't mind admiring it, you know. But don't be outside when there's a thunderstorm. If people mention isolated thunderstorm, it means in one area or one state. Hey Siri, what exactly is isolated thunderstorm? I'm actually gonna read that as well. I love screenshotting shit, so I can read it, and in case I want to go back to him, and I'm like, hey, I got the screenshot, I can just go back to it, in case it takes quite a while for me to process it. Which I get anxious when it takes quite a while for me to process shit, you know? Isolated thunderstorms tend to occur when there are light winds that do not change dramatically with height, and where there is abundant moisture at low and middle levels of the atmosphere. That is from near the surface of the ground up to around, or exactly 10,000 meters to 33,000 feet in altitude. Got you, that's what it means. It doesn't mean in one area, but it means it can touch the ground. It's isolated. Hey Siri, what's the definition of the words isolated? Hey Siri! Hey Siri! What's the definition of the word isolated? Far away from other places, buildings, or people. Hey Siri, does isolated thunderstorm mean far away from the ground? Isolated thunderstorms are small and localized. They typically occur where there are... Yeah, I already read that. Anyway, yeah, overall, I don't have a phobia of that. I don't feel overwhelmed or anxious by them. Clowns. Ah, if someone wore a mask that is similar to a clown. Because clowns, there are people who love to joke around. It's a symbol of humor. But why does people fear clowns? Because of being a serial killer. You wear a mask that looks like a demonic version of a mask of a clown. The makeup makes them look vaguely non-human, meaning someone that isn't a human being. Or, oh, it could mean that you're a demon. That is not, there's no such thing of a demon that depicts themselves as a clown. I mean, they could be similar. But I was thinking of like how someone is wearing a mask that looks similar to a clown. It took a while for me to process what I'm referring to. Germs. Oh, I definitely have that phobia. Germophobia, I definitely have that. I don't fear it, because obviously, I don't mind coughing. I'm sure if someone coughed, they'll be scared. It depends on the terms. It typically depends on the term of it overall, you know. But what I'm specifically referring to, chat, is I get anxious. If someone doesn't wash their hands, or if someone's sick, I'll give them that look like, ugh, please, I don't like when germs are near me. Even though I won't necessarily get sick, it interferes with me. And I have a headache at the very moment. And it's nighttime, but I don't have acid reflux. Which, hopefully not, because I had pizza for dinner. And, like, I had just pizza, which I didn't like. I don't like leftover food. I like something that's fresh and new. That is something that God would agree on. I can even ask the Snap AI, would you prefer leftover food or would you prefer being a humble person, giving someone food every day, and if someone could afford to have food, you could give it to someone who prefers having leftover food? Like, I would say to a homeless person. If not, throw it away. Don't throw it away if someone wants it, but don't waste food if you got it immediately, but if it's leftover, yeah, it's gonna not necessarily be good. People think that leftover is healthy. Yeah, no, it's definitely not. I got a question. I'm not trying to be rude, but can you start playing the game? Yo, Carter, my brother, I promise majority of my viewers that I would most likely react to this, and once this video is over, I'll definitely consider playing with you. Not playing by myself, brother. I'm about to play with you, brother. I'm playing with subs. But yeah, 1 in 37 have the fear of phobia. Not phobia, fear of germs. Uh, my mysophobia could be caused by a loved one's illness or death due to pollution. Oh, um, I figured that's where I got that phobia from. I'm sure mine is more of like an instinct temporarily, which is like me getting overwhelmed or anxious by it, but not fearing it. Alright, this is the last phobia. 1 in 38 have this phobia of. Wow, people have a fear of bird. 1 in 38 have a fear of bird. Actress Scarlett Johansson claims to be scared of birds. Damn. She's playing as a hedgehog in the movie Thing 1 and 2, and potentially 3, Thing 3. But overall, she fears birds. I don't get anxious by them. I love birds. Well, it depends on the bird, but overall, I don't. I mean, if it's a peacock, I could possibly get anxious by it, but from possibly from watching videos. But I definitely want to consider playing with my homie. I don't want to keep him waiting. It's currently 10, and we never have a chance to play as much, so we got to consider making it, giving it the time we could. But I'm gonna consider saving that video, chat. 157. Okay. I know, chat. Yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to shit. But hold on, I'm gonna do something for quite a bit, but it won't necessarily take too long. Alright. Give me a minute though. You can request to join. I'll be sure to invite you. I won't be able to talk as much. Hold up. I'll be AFK for quite a bit. Give me a minute. Alright, chat. I am back, chat. My bad. I had to do something for quite a bit. But anyway, chat. Without further ado, let's get straight to this shit. Um, brother, you can be sure to join. Officially playing with subs, chat. Man, it's been a while. Besides AZ, because he's my homie overall. Might as well playing with him. Oh, apparently sundering my earlier. So speaking of that, chat. But yeah, that was the video I've been wanting to most likely watch, and I'm gonna find one of my Tomb Raider videos and see like when exactly did I Um, like when exactly did I like um watch that other video? Because I want to see what I was watching most likely. Yeah, it was good.
Good. Great.
All right, hold on. Let me see what quest I have to do. um, Honestly, about exotic weapons, I gotta most likely use chat. Um, Consider lighting here. Destroy overload spires or scout spires. Eliminate opponents as storm beasts. Okay. As like the beast chat. And then destroy objects with spire or rifle or explosives. Definitely doing that. Deliver a Superman's sprite or shrine. Okay. To a shrine. Well, overall chat. I'm gonna consider reading up.
What's in the shop?
Yeah, play on Nintendo Switch or Xbox.
Nintendo Switch.
That's cool. Yeah, you should definitely get GTA someday.
Ooh, new messy shoes.
What's that?
Got new messy shoes.
That's cool.
2 pairs.
Love you.
Do you want to drop anywhere special?
I already marked a spot for my quest, so you can possibly like land with me.
Okay. What did you mark?
What's that?
Oh, there, okay.
Yeah, I marked that area.
Okay.
Alright, chat. So whenever he talks, then I'll talk back to him, obviously. Like, whenever he talks. But overall, chat, yeah, those are plenty of the phobias I read. So if you have any, thoughts on that, or if you have a fear, and I don't necessarily, which obviously I don't, be sure to leave a comment down below. Because I mentioned some of the phobias that you may have a fear of, and I don't necessarily, which obviously I don't. Which, thank God I don't necessarily. Thank God on my Jesus Christ that I don't necessarily have that shit. Like, fearing it, you know? And I could go back constantly on the stream. I don't have to, like, go back to watch the video. Like, I could just watch the stream and I can ensure that I spoke clear of reading it overall. Like, reading that phobia and whether I fear it or I just have anxiety of it, or if I don't have it at all. Whether it's fear or anxiety. But I don't necessarily have any fear, so I would say if I don't have that phobia, I don't get anxious or overwhelmed by it. Like a centipede, I would have a phobia of it. I get anxious by it, but at the same time, I manage it, so I don't have much of a phobia of it. So, actually, I don't have a phobia of it. I just get startled by it, which is like me getting anxious by it or overwhelmed, but not as like what I consider as a phobia, chat. But people definitely fear sharks, but I don't fear sharks. Cause some people, like I get anxious. I don't want to lose my arm and leg. If I do, I'll grab back my arm and leg, but that would be more risky, cause then I'll be dead. I'll rest in peace. The shark will just eat me more. It will attack me more. What I mean by eating me, meaning it wants me as a food because it's possessed. It's not like you threaten it or. Cause why would they eat you? They don't consider human. Cause all creatures can't eat humans. Humans can eat them, but nobody can eat them. Well, creatures go after... Like, creatures don't eat humans, is what I mean. Humans can eat their flesh, but creatures can't attack... Like, not attack them, because they have to in terms of self-defense, but they can't eat a human flesh, you know?
Nobody let the
Unless they could, but nah, they can't. God wouldn't give them that opportunity. When they attack, it's more of like you threaten them, or if you interfere with their mating process. But if they're possessed, they're gonna possibly eat you, which, in terms, it will feed the demon with its sinful desires or powers, in terms of like wanting to just eat the flesh of a human, you know? Which is very scary for some, but for me, I'll get anxious, like, oh my gosh, I don't want no other creature to eat my flesh. But the only way to do that is to make me rest in peace and eat all that, which, nope, hell to the no. My flesh is going to remain inside of me, and my flesh is my muscle, and I work out every day, constantly to consider, like... gaining muscle mass, plenty of it. And I'm sure I worked out every day, so I don't necessarily have to worry about it. It will take quite a while for me to process, but it's all good. That's not dementia, trust me. That's more of like my rare specific type of mental trauma, which is very, very, very temporary, you know. Excuse me, chat. Oh, I gotta hire the NPC. But 800 to unlock them, right? Well, I got extra gold. 800, yeah. I'm not gonna do that quest then. What quest could I possibly do? Oh, there's plenty. Well, I done plenty of it. Damn! Weekly quest, let's continue to do that. Damage opponents. That's Storm Beast, right? I can consider like taking her pom-poms. But that's wasted gold. It's not gonna matter. The more gold, it's not gonna matter. I definitely need the pom-poms. You know. If I find somebody, I'll turn into one. Because how many do I need to... 3 more. Destroy objects was... Visit an Academy Tech lab in different matches. It could possibly be the same one as well, right? You just gotta do it in different matches, not simultaneously. So separately overall. I'm gonna get my own car. Sometimes I like to enter the person's vehicle, but I like to just have free will, you know. So I just prefer driving my own car. I'm not necessarily being arrogant. It's just it's more of my anxiety, you know. But yeah, it has been a while since I played with him. But he's not able to play GTA with me because he has a Nintendo Switch. He would get it on his Nintendo Switch, you know. So unfortunately, I would have to wait until the GT6 occurs so he can get it on there, and then him and I can both play. The difference is, he'll be playing on a Nintendo Switch, I'll be playing on my PlayStation 5 Pro. And Xbox, because I'm gonna get plenty of consoles. I'm not that type of person who only likes one console or loves one console. Like, I'm not only a PlayStation person, I'm an Xbox person as well. And a Nintendo Switch person. And a PC person. I'm all video gamer person, like all consoles. Or just gaming overall, you know. Why exactly am I breaking it? My bad, chat. It took a while for me to process. Like, I have full shield. I'm gonna save as much level as I could, because I possibly want to buy, like, several pages. Plus, I don't have to do the math. I'll just have to count how many levels I have and see if I have enough for that, you know. So, a bit of math, just not with stars, you know. Like, how much am I minusing, you know. I'll just add up how many levels I need overall. Damn, man, stole my kill. I'm playing chair. I'm not the person who's arrogant. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my fucking gosh! Yeah, please get me. He can't hear me, but fucking damn beast. Bro, I wasted my gold for that, bro. Now I have none.
We're ready up. I went on the but back to lava on accident.
What's that? Yeah, let's return to lobby though.
Yeah. Was she talking in the game? Or no?
What's that?
Was she?
He may have to repeat that again because we're returning back to lobby. Well, I'm returning back to lobby. What were you saying, Carter?
What?
You were saying something.
Um, did you talk in the game?
Oh no, I wasn't. I was talking to my viewers.
Okay, cause I couldn't hear you.
No, no, it's all good. It's all good. All right, let me see how many I need. So I got 14 to claim. So how many would I need left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38 levels. So what's 38 plus 14, chat?
38 plus 14.
Yeah, I already did the math. 52. Wow, I need that much levels? That's gonna take a while, chat. I have to constantly level up, chat.
Did you ever play Blaze? Blaze, I mean.
What's that?
Did you ever play the new game mode?
Um, Blitz?
Yeah.
No.
It's full of bots. Bots.
Would I still be able to do my quest?
I think you can get a free skin. You can get some XP.
We can do that. We can play this afterwards.
Let me look at Blaze.
Yo, did you buy the whole battle pass?
No.
You're like level 72 already.
Yeah. I was playing was it Blizz? No, I was playing like a. Yeah, I got Blaze. You got daily quest. You got daily quest. That's all you can. And got the free skin. I think you could probably do some of your quests because you got exotics and then mythics, epics, all like the same.
Hmm.
It's kind of like Reload.
Yeah, I got you.
Yep. But the games are just 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I have to get more gold because I wasted it on that pom pom.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think somebody took it and killed me.
Well, I bought it so I can like do my quest, but apparently I got killed by someone with the pom pom. But man, GT6 is gonna release next year.
Yep.
You gonna get that game?
Maybe for what is coming out? What month?
May 26, 2026.
Yeah, I might.
All right.
Yeah, I hope you can get it on Nintendo.
I'm
Like,
sure you may. And it may be crossplay, so we can like play it if we're on different consoles.
yeah. What do you want to drop?
Let me check my quest to see if there's like a location I want to land at. Do you know where the Academy Tech Labs are?
Um, well, got one right here.
Alright, I can land there then. Yeah, let's land there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to GTA 6 chat. Like, I'm looking forward to that. Because GTA 5's been out for like 12 years. But anyway, chat, he knew that I was just talking to you all, so it's all good. And if I want to talk to him, then, you know, might as well, but, you know. Yeah, he's very intelligent as well, just like me. But it takes me quite a while for me to process it. For him, he just knows it instantly. I wouldn't say know it instantly. It's more of like how much can he process or remember for him. For me, it takes me quite a while to like process shit. You know. What exactly do you do? Do you just consider getting those shit? That the quest? Damn, you would need a gold as well. But damn, I don't necessarily have enough for the pom pom. He would have to consider using it for it. That's fucked. Hold on, why exactly did it mention that I have 18 chats? Oh, his chats are repeating. Shit, apparently I got that glitch again. Hold up though. Oh, okay, it mentions that enter. Okay, I didn't necessarily pay attention. Took me quite a while for me to process it. Deliver a Superman sprite to a shrine.
Yeah.
Where exactly is he at though? Unless whenever I find him overall. Seems like it. I have good weapons. I have great weapons. Because if you push, it's like you're independent, and if your team is able to make it, and that's automatic. Cause typically, it seems arrogant when you're wanting to stick together and not rushing. Like, come on, man. When someone is in, when you're in the army, that's what typically happens. You have to do things independently in terms of defending yourself. And he was mentioning something. I'll have to talk to him in a bit because there is players on me. But you don't want to steal all kills. You want to be equal overall, and not necessarily be arrogant. But at the same time, you can rush overall. Appreciate it.
People over here.
Alrighty, I'm a demon. Not really, though. Damn, you can't get gold? That's fucked. Alright, 2 more to go. Hold up. Let me grab the loot. Is it repeating? Hey Mike, how's your match? Are you having fun with your sub? I definitely am, brother, and we'll definitely play next stream. Whenever it mentions them playing with you, then overall, you know. But yeah, definitely am playing with myself while doing my quest. And we can do more quests overall. We'll see if we can do the roleplay today, but it seems like it's a perfect time to do roleplay. If we have the chance to. Alright, let me get my loot, and then I can consider, you know, using my pom-poms. Because I don't want to I don't want to just avoid the loots, you know. Like this. I gotta consider getting this, you know. Man, that's plenty of gold. And see, he's a great sub. He gave me pom-poms when I didn't have enough to have enough gold to get the pom-poms to afford them. But what's unfortunate that Epic Games should consider bringing back is quest assisting. Hold on, I gotta help him out as well, but hold up, let me check the chat. Alright, let me know when you're ready. Alright, brother. So yeah, whenever it says that I'm playing with subs,
No.
he would know that I'm playing with subs. But
Someone.
whenever it mentions that I'm not playing with subs and I'm playing with him, then, you know, he would know. Speaking of that, found the person. Okay, you know what? It wouldn't matter if I don't get the loot. Let me stop. So this is my last time. I'm gonna be a pom-pom. I can't leave it. One more time and then it would get damage. My question is, can you take fall damage while the beast? You may possibly, so I'm gonna be aware. Eh. Not worth the ammo. Just be a pom-pom for now and then kill the other. Take down one player overall and then you're good. Man, we're tied though. We both got 4 kills. No, you won't necessarily take fall damage. Excuse me, chat. Okay, he left my stream, it seems like. Because I'm the only one who's watching my stream. To ensure if my audio's clear or... Well, not to see my chat. I only check my chat when I'm on the PS4, but when I'm on the PS5, someone's gotta repeat the chat. You know? I'm roaming around. I love roaming around.
Hello?
Imagine doing this in this world chat. Yeah, it was good. I'm just finding one more player to eliminate.
We got people over here too.
What's that?
We got people over here too.
Oh, players by you? Alright, hold up.
I think we just went to oh no.
Oh, I'm coming with my Storm Beast pom-pom person.
Where's the other one? Did you kill the other one of the same?
Nah.
You wanna go fight this boss?
Hold up.
It
I mean, if it counts as destroying one, then yeah, might as well.
It gives you exotic. It gives you exotic,
Is it
right?
unstable and exotic?
It has 3 different exotics. It's like a team.
Alright, might as well then, because I definitely need that for my quest.
But somebody's coming and say,
We got this.
you're down stuff. Dead. Dead? Yeah.
Alright, let me see if I can possibly get chat. Unstable! Definitely need that. Definitely need that.
Somebody shoot us.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
He's like, oh, he has a knife.
Definitely gonna consider using this.
I'm might need some help.
Man, you know I love Fortnite when I have chug jugs. Revolver. Eh.
One of them's low.
Alright, hold up.
Use your exotic weapon. It does a lot of damage.
Absolutely.
Got the boat.
Enough with the building, sir. I gotta do my quest. Come on, bro.
But you got your exotic.
Yeah.
Did you get your quest done for that one?
For the pom poms, yeah.
Yeah. Not the exotic. What do you have to do with
Nah.
the exotic?
It's not good.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, if we find those bosses, I definitely need those exotic weapons, you know.
Yep.
Because I gotta finish all my quests, week 1 and week 2. Did you all finish all your quests?
Most of them.
Mm. Like your weekly quests, you finish most of them?
Yeah. But the story, I don't usually do the story quest.
What's that?
I usually don't do the story quest.
Mm.
If you get something from it, I might do it. Like
Yeah.
ooh, I'm gonna have to get that. Do you wanna drop anywhere?
What's that?
Do you wanna drop somewhere?
Where those bosses are at.
Oh yeah, where we got like 3 of them on the map.
You can mark them.
Let's go. Let's go. There's one. That's the only that shows up for now because like every time somebody destroys them, the one comes up.
Yeah, I got 3 more quests left for each.
Do you like Roblox?
What's that?
Do you like Roblox?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Nah. I'm playing Roblox right now.
While playing Fortnite?
Yeah. One of my brothers getting on soon. It's kind of like this game, like you buy stuff and you get more money and rebirth and it's like a, yeah.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, I hope this one. Every time every first time I go to one of these bosses, I get the pistol.
Ah.
Okay, I see. I need to get some weapons.
Hold on, let me get some weapons before I come to you.
Get some ammo. Can't find ammo. I'm supposed to get back in. Oh my god, this has so much damage. Do you have any ammo?
Not as much.
Yeah, that's crap. How am I dying?
Because they shot you while reviving you.
Yeah, you're dead.
There you go, I got him for you.
I need heals. I can't get nothing. I need another. Oh yeah, I have these. I can trade for them. Are you getting my car?
Yeah.
Person? Dead. Another person? Um, yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, let me damage list my exotic weapon as well.
Okay. Looking at my quest right now.
Yeah, same here.
Battle Royale. I'm almost done with
Here, let me
my
give you
Battle
my medkit.
Royale. Are you almost done with your Battle Royale quest?
Yes, sir.
I
The
just have
weekly
two
quest?
more. What is it called? Let me go to the. It's called Kickstart.
Oh, I have like 5 out of 12.
I'm at 10 out of 12.
Wow.
What about? I barely have any weekly. I have like a little bit of one.
Yo, you want this?
It's the mythic form.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take it. What's the next time you're gonna play Roblox?
Hopefully next week.
I got this good game to play.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Grow a Garden?
What's that?
Grow a Garden.
Never.
A lot of people. Do you study that Superman class?
What's that?
That. Take that now. The Superman. Do you study that Superman class?
Nah.
Nah, you didn't.
No.
So you didn't do it.
Never had a chance to.
Oh, there's a Superman over there.
Or like I can't find it. What I mean.
It's a sprite up here. Let's see. Yeah, is that? Yeah, right there.
What would I do with it?
Put it in here.
Ah, okay. There you go. Alright, I may have to visit another academy lab.
Um,
There's one right there.
yep. No, that's not one. That's another small boss fight. Here's one.
This one.
Yeah. The thing you think you mark is like kind of like the boss battle we did, but it's
Yeah.
smaller. You wanna go for this island or no? Hmm. You wanna go for the island?
Sure.
There's a place you can. Yeah, there's a place you can go to the island.
Or we can use the rift to head over there.
Oh, I'm just gonna do this very quick.
Yo, take the med. Be sure to take this med kit.
Where's the boss at? He's up there.
Don't take this. I'm using my chug jug.
Okay, I know. Oh, we're in the top 10.
Yes, sir. Hey, you can take this.
Okay.
Alrighty, 2 more quests I have left. Actually, 3 more quests. I gotta destroy objects with a fire, rifle, or explosions, and I gotta.
We should be leaving soon.
Yeah, right now.
You wanna go to the thing you want to go to?
Yeah.
It will ask.
Might as well, you know. Man, I'm looking for the next season after this season. See what next season's about.
I think it's about bugs.
Bugs?
Yeah, bugs.
Why that?
Because it's like the superhero thing is like it should be bugs. And
I
then
mean, they
after
can't constantly repeat superhero themes.
this is next season should be the Simpsons thing.
I mean, we'll see. Instead of that, they can just add those into the item shop.
How are they gonna do Bullet? Bullet's a small guy. I'm just gonna put him in his oldest shades. Hope not. It's Golden Storm. We can't be here for long. I say we should just blow it up.
Definitely don't need it. Here, come in, come in.
I got nothing down there. Okay, ready. Ooh.
Players up here. That's what I love. Watch out! Oh my gosh!
Do I just leave?
Possibly.
I don't have no loot. Let's go build.
Damn. Hey, let's return back to lobby.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh my gosh, chat. I'm currently like level 24. Damn.
I, ooh, I have to sell something.
Man, I got 3 more quests left. That's quite interesting, chat. Hey, bro, I'll catch you later. I'm about to go play on GTA.
Okay. Have,
Alright,
have a
man.
good have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you as well. Alright, chat, I'm gonna end right here. If you want to see more of me playing Fortnite, be sure to leave a comment down below. As always, I'm gonna end right here. Tomorrow I'm not gonna be able to play with subs. I'm gonna possibly be playing with my homie AZ if I'm able to. But majority of the time, I'm either gonna play GT5 or Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But Shadow of the Tomb Raider is gonna possibly be in 2 more weeks. Who knows? But I'll figure something out. So I chat. Yeah, I'm gonna end right here. If you want to see more of me playing Fortnite, be sure to leave a comment down below. As always, I'm gonna end right here. Take it easy, chat. I'm just getting my schedule situated overall, you know. But yeah, take it easy.